Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this week's Mental Monday. This week, we're kind of doing a little summarizing of a lot of what I've talked about, and I want to share my kind of top 5 tips to have better mental health. If you've been around my channel a lot, you know I talk about mental health all the time. I'm super passionate about it. It's why I studied it. It's why I talk about it incessantly. It is something I just constantly learn how much importance it has and how we really don't give it enough importance in general. I think there is something to be said for not being perfect, but doing our best to take care of ourselves in this way. The biggest phrase that I like to use for why it's important to take care of yourself in that way is you can't pour out of an empty cup. If you are not taken care of, how can you take care of others? That I feel like pertains to literally everybody. Because in some way, you need your brain to output. You need your brain to manage and take care of and have cohesive output towards something. Whether it's in your marriage, in your work goals, as a parent, taking care of family members. You have to start with you. And then you can help others. The other phrase that I love that pertains to this is put your oxygen mask on first. Because you can't help others breathe if you aren't breathing. And I think that's just such a very visceral, real example of needing to do that first before you can actually be able to help others. So my top 5 tips are things that I've talked about a lot, but I kind of want to touch on a little more in-depthly, individually each. So the first one is sleep. I've talked about sleep a lot. I've mentioned my issues with sleep and how I've been trying really hard to get back to a good sleep pattern, but it's something I struggle with and something I'm kind of constantly working on. So I really became aware of what my sleep was doing when I got a sleep tracker. So this tracks my sleep, it tracks my steps, all on an app on my phone. And then I can see how much was I awake, how long was I in deep sleep, light sleep. It is so helpful for knowing how much sleep you got, and then you can kind of gauge and track, okay, on this day I got that much sleep, or I had that ratio, that time I went to bed and woke up, and that was when I felt my best. Or over here I really didn't feel my best, so that was not a good situation. I do need to switch that. It helps you understand what's going on. And that is kind of my first step I took to really trying to be more intentional about it. And I feel like it helps. It is hugely important to know what's going on with your sleep and be getting good sleep. So finding the things that work for you, whether it's blue blockers, whether it's setting a certain bedtime, whether it's turning the TV off, whatever might help you, try things. Learn what works for you and take it from there and track and see how different things affect what shows up on your sleep tracker. So the second thing is rest, which might sound like the first thing, except that's not what I mean. By rest, I mean taking a break. I mean allowing your brain to shut off. And I don't mean in the sleep way. I mean just in you can be off. You can not be hyper aware of something. You can not have to worry about other things. You can kind of just be. And that time that you're able to take, where you're not worrying about all of that, where you can kind of shut that pressurized area of your brain off that feels like you constantly need to be making sure everything's going good, you constantly need to be making sure things for work are done, the kids are taken care of, food is set for meals, like all of that can shut off. And you can just be. That little break can give you such a moment of refresh and restart to then jump back into, okay, I'm on. I've got it, let's do this. And for me, I can tell when I start having symptoms of, oh, I need that. I am needing a breather. I am needing a break. I need time where I don't have to think. It's kind of my phrase I start using is, I just want a moment to not have to think. I don't want to have to be on with whatever is going on. It can be anything. Whatever that thing is or things are that trigger your brain and constantly have that running in the back of your mind, trying to make sure it's all good and all set. That is a huge trap for me. And I feel like that is not special to me. I feel like that's actually really common. And it's important to have that moment where, the way I like to put it is, I don't have to think. I can shut off. I can zone out in a way, if that makes sense. So whatever resting looks like for you, whether that's completely leaving your environment and going out of the house, out of your city, like going on a vacation, or whether it looks like holing up in your house and just chilling and doing whatever is relaxing for you, whether it's taking 20 minutes and going and laying in a hot bath with music and the diffuser going, that sounds really good right now. Whatever it is for you, find it and use it when you know you need it, and learn the triggers for when you know you need it. The third thing is routines. Routines, I feel like get so much attention when we're younger, when we're taking care of kids. Routines is huge. We talk constantly as adults, I feel like, about kids thriving on routine. And we forget that that doesn't actually change as we get older. We as humans, in every way, thrive on routine. Our bodies naturally thrive on routine, thrive on knowing what to expect and when to expect it. It thrives on that. And when you throw that off is when you start having those issues that we all fight and struggle with. So routines can be simple, or it can be detailed, whichever you like. It doesn't really have to be any specific way, but having some kind of pattern and routine to the way you do whatever it is that you do can help. If you know you are in bed by 10 o'clock every night, 9:30 rolls around and your brain automatically starts going, oh, half hour, better start winding down. What do I need to do before I head into bed? And you've gotten into that routine already where your body's expecting it, and it naturally starts to slow down and relax and get in that mode. And I feel like there's things you can incorporate into your routine that also kind of sets you up for success in other areas so that that time period of the day goes better. The biggest example of that is a night routine that sets you up really well for your morning. Setting coffee, having any food prepped that you want to, all of that, setting out clothes, all of that can be even more beneficial to thriving under what to expect, planning ahead a little bit and knowing, okay, what am I going to want for this? What am I going to need set up for that? And you kind of thank yourself when you do. I always thank myself when I set coffee the night before. The fourth thing on my top 5 list is an outlet. This is obviously a really broad term to use because there are a lot of things you can use as an outlet, and everybody's going to have something different. It doesn't actually matter what your outlet is. Whatever you like is what you like. The biggest thing is you're able to express yourself in that way. You expend energy and put creativity and your personality and your touch and your flair on that, and you express yourself in whatever way. Whether it's making videos, whether it's knitting, whether it's writing, drawing, what have you. It can be hugely life-giving to have that outlet. That thing that all you have to do is just express yourself with it, and you have that freedom to do whatever you want with it, to be as creative as you want with it. That can be huge and very, very encouraging. It kind of sets you up to be successful because there's not many outlets that there's actually a wrong way of doing something. If you chose one color over the other in a picture, no one's actually going to care. They're going to look at it as that was you expressing yourself. And I think that's the beauty of it. And I think that can be really encouraging and, like I've said like 5 times now, life-giving. The 5th and final thing in my top 5 list, definitely not the least, is organize. Organization is something that is like counter to my nature in several different ways, but something I've been trying to get better with literally for my entire life. I was the girl that was rearranging and organizing her bedroom at like midnight on a Friday night watching a movie because I just got inspired to redecorate and organize because it was bugging me that my room was not organized. So I have a huge, huge love for organization and a huge desire to be organized while probably being the least organized person I possibly know. So that's me. By organization, I don't mean Marie Kondo the crap out of your life. Although if you want to, go for it. She has some great systems. I personally learned a ton from that on Netflix. But it doesn't have to be that big of a project. It doesn't have to be that detailed or specific. It can be really simple. It can be as simple as writing a to-do list every morning for that day. Starting your day, or even better, the night before, writing a list of everything that you either have going on the next day or want to get done the next day. And then, in the morning, you look at that list, and that's your day. You know what to expect, you know what to try to accomplish, and you already have 3 to 5 things set as your intention for that day. So when you go to start your day, and what are you going to do today, you don't have to say, I'm not sure. I don't know. You have a list of things you already told yourself you wanted to do. It can be that simple. It can be as simple as putting things you need to remember on Google Calendars on your phone. There will be a whole video on lists in Google Calendar and planning like that. I promise. It's been huge for me. It can be that simple. It can also be super, super fancy. Get a really nice planner, stickers, the whole gamut. You can do huge bullet journal layouts, and it's amazing, and it's beautiful and inspiring, and hashtag goals all the way. But your girl ain't there yet. So my lists are my life. And that has been huge for me. Start there. That's huge. And then you're not using up that brain capacity by like trying to remember, and you're not setting yourself up to not know what to do in the morning. Works wonders. So that is my top 5. That is my 5 ways to work on better mental health. Those are my 5 things you can do to get better mental health. And I would love to hear your ideas in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful and inspired you to put some of these into action. If you have any questions at all or thoughts, I would love to hear it in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video and it helped you, please give this a thumbs up and share it with everybody. Make sure you are subscribed and have notifications on, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!